Alright, so I got the tire off. Tire is beyond saving. The actual cords on the bead, the steel wires, were separating from the rubber, and it's like I showed, it's the whole tread's peeling off. It's really junk. It's got to be changed. So the rim looks like an original, I'm assuming. It says it's an 8x28 Firestone, made in USA. It's got the center band on it for the spokes. But like I said, it has Bondo on the outside, and it looks like it has a lot of Bondo on the inside. So I think I'll get this sandblasted. I'll probably pull the other one off just the same. Oh, this is all the way along here, so I'm not sure. I don't know. I've never seen a rim like that before, why it's like that. I'll get it sandblasted and see what's left. Clean it up. Yeah, it's pretty scaly. So I might need a rim. Hopefully I can save this one. Here's what I'm working with. I did a little wire wheeling on this the other day, and it's pretty rough. And you can see where they overlapped the rims. Well, this is a new, it looks like a new piece, and there's the old piece. From what I'm looking at, I might be able to take this outer rim and step it back out where it belongs and maybe make a new piece to go in here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the wire wheel and clean this up a little more, and then pressure wash it, see what I'm working with. See if I can save what I've already got here without buying another wheel or another donor rim, because I haven't been able to really find anything so far. So here it is. They overlapped a new piece of rim onto this rim, and I think I can save it from what's left, because right here is where the new piece of rim stops. So I'll have to add a couple patches in around here and up in there, but I think I can basically cut this and butt the two together and make it work. Got it all wire wheeled, pressure washed some of the grease off of it. This old grease doesn't want to come off very well, but put some degreaser on it, got what I could off. But this is what I'm working with. So around the valve stem, this is how they patched it up. And this was all covered with Bondo. Yeah, not great. I'm amazed that the piece where the valve stem went through is still intact, but everything around it's pretty rough. But if you kind of look around it, so this is what they did. So they took, this is a piece off of a separate wheel, and they laid it on the inside, and then they put little stitch welds around it. And it's overlapped it. And what that's caused is the overall width of the rim to be a 1/2 inch narrower, so it actually makes that tire squeeze in a little bit more. And I'm not sure if you really noticed, I didn't really notice it, but the rim is, instead of an 8-inch wide pattern, it's actually 7.5, so it's already a narrow rim, it's making it narrower, and I definitely don't want that, and I don't want all the body filler in there. So yeah, you can kind of see the bottom, little stitch welds here, and it's, I mean, it's overlapped like a whole thickness of the wheel, you know, and that's on a bevel, so it brings it in a little more. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to cut this wheel, or just cut these stitch welds off, take this outer ring off, clean it up, and then I'm going to pull a line and take a plasma cutter, and I'm going to cut this off equal all the way around. And then I'm going to lay that same line onto this wheel and then cut the inside of this piece. I'm going to butt them together so it's the original width. And then once I get that tacked into place, I'll work on patching this stuff in. So, you know, this is pretty thin here, and this is obviously just non-existent, so I'll have to put some stuff in here. But I think I can work with what I have here. Also have to build up a couple of these spokes. They're kind of, you know, they're solid, but I'd rather add a little metal in there than like Bondo or anything. So we'll add a little metal and sand that back down. But I think I can save it. I know I can. It'll just be a fair bit of work. Had to take some sheet metal and lay in there. And all right, I got this rim set up on the table. I'm gonna go ahead and see about getting this thing fixed up today, or as close as I can with the next few hours I got to work on it. I'm gonna start by cutting off this outer rim, the one that they like replaced and patched it in with. I'm gonna cut all these welds, pull it off, figure out how much like meat I have to work with, and I'm gonna go ahead and trim this back as much as I can. I may even trim this like perfectly round and then lay it over and then trim it back as far as I can. And then we'll have to tack that together and then patch all this in. I got it cut apart. This piece of the rim, the section that they spliced in, actually looks pretty good, and it's cut pretty even. So what I'll probably end up doing is keeping as much of this and cleaning it up and transferring it onto that and then cutting it out. But this is what we're working with. You know, it's pretty solid from about here to about here. So a little more than half, about a third is bad, but you know, quite a bit of work there, but you're getting it done. Alright, so I got the inner part of the wheel cut. I just used this plasma cutter, and this is supposed to be like a circle cutter that goes on it, but I just ran it right up against here and followed my line. And with a little bit of sanding, this will drop right down in, and it'll flip it over and tack it up. And then I'll start to attack this stuff here, cut out the bad, and piece in some good stuff. So it's going along pretty good so far. I'm happy. All right, so I got everything that's really bad cut out of this wheel. They said it's about a third of it, yeah, about a third or a little more, that couldn't be saved. But I got everything ground so it'll fit over, and I'm going to space it off this on the table, and with 1 7/8 spacing on this from the table with it flipped over, should give me my 10-inch overall width, 8-inch wide bead. So, coming along. Here's where I'm at now. I got the rim sitting flush with each other. I got the main piece all tacked in. Main thing I'm going for here before, see, they had it a 1/2 inch too narrow, and it should be right around 10 inches. And that's what we're getting now. Just blocked up that center and spaced that to set my height and my distance. So now I'm gonna have to make some pieces to go in here. I think I'm gonna make the pieces and tack it in with a MIG welder and do the final welding with a TIG welder, just so there's less grinding when I'm done. I can put in just enough material so I don't end up just spending, you know, an hour grinding that seam, maybe just a few minutes. Alright, I got the first piece of the patch panel in. So it tapers out all the way up here, comes in around here. I'll have to, what I think I'm going to do is once I get this welded in, I'm going to heat up that area and beat it in and weld it directly to that, because that should be flared like the rest of these are. Or I'll just build that up with weld. That's all tacked in, and then I'm going to cut out another piece, which is essentially just a flat piece that'll be, you know, kind of C-shaped. That'll go in there. I'll make another cardboard template, cut it out, put it in there. That's going pretty good so far. Real happy. So this is as far as I'm gonna get right now. Got the outer ring tacked on. I got the filler pieces made. And tacked in. I have a new valve stem flat tacked in. This hole center punched in it, ready to drill through. I am going to TIG weld the rest of this together, but I gotta wait until I get a bottle of gas. So get all this mess cleaned up and we'll call it a day for now. Here we're back again. I got some filler metal, got my welding helmet and the rim set up. Got the TIG welder set up, got a new bottle of gas. That's the second bottle of gas I got today. The first one I got all the way home, hooked it up, and it was empty. So I must have had a leaky valve or something. So I had to drive all the way back, 30-mile round trip, get a bottle that was full. And now we're all set up, and we should be good to go to weld this thing up. Alright, so got most of the welding done for now. Got it welded inside and out. All the way around where the valve stem is going. Here's the parts I pieced in. And I even welded on these spokes a little bit where there was some large pits, and I believe I'll go back after I get them sandblasted to do some final welding, see if there's anything I missed. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and grind all this out, smooth it out, and see if I can find a place to get them sandblasted. Okay, here we are, coming to an end on fixing this rim up. Everything is pretty much done. So what you're looking at here is where everything was rotted back into here. So you can kind of see the seam a little bit here. I'll have to put some filler like body filler in here. I was planning on doing that. There's just no way I was going to be able to get these to meet up perfectly with what I had to work with. I thought I got it pretty good, but there's still a little bit of a step in a couple places, so I'll kind of skim across that, and hopefully you won't even be able to tell that it was repaired. And then I added the indent for the valve stem on this side. There's still a couple spots I'm going to go back where I hit it with the cutting wheel earlier. I'm going to go ahead and weld these up yet tonight and sand the rest out. The inside's looking pretty good too. Kind of the same story. There's a little bit of a step in a couple places, but I mean, for what we started with, this turned out pretty good. There's a couple pieces that were kind of flaked out pretty bad on some of these spokes, so I added a little bit of metal on these just to get the bulk of it built back up, and I'll come back with a little bit of putty before I paint them, and I'll fill any big pits in. So there it is. It turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'll check back in when I get it sandblasted and paint them.